Anytime. What's up, comic book fans? Pete here from Comic Books Transformed, where me and my good friend Brian over there discuss comics that have been adapted into streaming shows and movies. And there goes my camera falling on the floor. Surprise! Spoilers! Anyway, guys, we're talking about Spider Noir, the final 2 episodes. And let me do this. There we go. Brian, we just reviewed Supergirl. And we were talking about superhero fatigue, people maybe not going to the theater to see superhero movies. I'm wondering if we're going to enter an age where they still make superhero adaptations, but it's going to be like small screen things that don't make a big splash, but people talk about, like this show. Could you see something like that happening?
I feel like what's going to happen is we're going to enter a phase like the 80s and 90s where it's just the big hitters and that's it. And then you'll occasionally get something smaller like a Blade, they'll kind of shine through. And, and then, who knows? I still have like hopes that when they start making X-Men movies, when Disney starts making X-Men movies, something will move the needle. But I'm not 100% sure it will. But like I still think there's going to be Batman movies continuously. I think there will be probably Avengers movies, but I definitely think we're going to see less of these like lower tiered characters. Just Spider-Man movies, we'll see those for sure. But smaller things, I think we won't be getting as often.
Yeah, that's a really, really smart point. And maybe in those big movies, like that feature the main characters, maybe they'll sneak in other like superheroes in them, but it'll be like a Spider-Man movie, kind of like what's happening with Brand New Day.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, while we can still talk about something that's obscure, because this is obviously like a Spider-Man from another universe and stuff, let's just enjoy it. I fucking enjoyed the shit out of this series, and I really liked the finale.
Yeah, I did too. I do think we talked about Supergirl that some people feel that things aren't different enough. This is definitely different, but at the same time, I really think this show lives and dies by Nick Cage swinging for the fences.
Absolutely.
I honestly could not picture anyone else in this role and this working like it does. I don't remember which episode it was, but the sequence where he's drunk and is just telling his secretary that he's Spider-Man, he's the Spider, was gold on all levels.
Yes. Yeah. A little montage, like hanging from the ceiling. He's got his goggles on. He's typing. Yeah, that was great.
He's on the wall in his box, just, I'm the Spider.
Right. That's a good impersonation too. Yeah. No. Just a great show and great supporting cast. That scene wouldn't land as well if you didn't really like his secretary and if you didn't really like Robbie Robinson, sorry. Because he's in that scene when that's revealed too, and they were just great. And I really, really like. I know I'm kind of jumping around, but I really liked when Ben Reilly is with Silvermane and his henchmen, and then Robbie comes in dressed up as the Spider at the end.
That was great too. I really liked all the characters in the show. I think everybody did a really great job. They did a great job kind of intertwining their histories. I'm so happy that that Tombstone got like a happy ending. I loved. There was a scene with Silvermane where I can't remember who he was talking to. Maybe it was Kat, but he was talking about why he does all this, and he gave this example of just like for like the sake of the fight. He's just his whole life was not easy, and it's just the thing that makes him feel alive. I love that answer for why he does it. I think it gave a lot of depth to that villain. This version of this villain, I should say.
Yes, yeah. You were saying like who was he talking to and when did that happen? It's the cold open for the final episode. He's just sitting in his like club, this nightclub, and he's talking to Kat, and he gives this little speech, and I thought that was just a great final cold open for the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, every character is great. I mean, I think maybe the only part that was like not interesting was this sort of part with the mayor, where it's like, oh well, the mayor and Silvermane have an issue. Like, I didn't give a shit about the mayor at all, but that's just basically so that you can have like, oh well, they're going to try to cure the villains, and then is he going to take the antidote? Is which of the villains are going to get cured? Which ones are going to die? And every single thing happened pretty much the way that you would expect it to happen, but it doesn't matter because it was still entertaining with every beat.
Yeah, no, it was. I especially liked, the whole scene where Megawatt kind of says like, "Hey, why do you want this antidote, Silvermane? So you can control us." And that whole thing was great. I had to really give credit to that guy. That guy also swung for the fences.
Absolutely,
he was so entertaining.
Yep. Yeah, his voice. He did a very it's very deliberate. The voice that he chose, like I couldn't even know. It's kind of nasal, like yeah, and he's like, oh, top of the world, ma, and like he just was like so greedy. And I watched this whole thing in black and white. I really liked the way that his mutation looked in black and white.
Yeah,
I liked it better than Sandman's look, and I liked it better than Tombstone's look. And then of course, like you knew that he essentially was going to be like the villain that you couldn't redeem. Whereas Tombstone and Sandman, you could. The way that he fucking dies was like one of my favorite parts of the whole show.
Yes. The spider webbed him from behind, and then he just throws him into the train.
Yeah, just flips him up to a fucking train. It was perfect. I was like, that was amazing. And they beat the shit out of the spider in that last episode.
Oh yeah, they definitely did. Yeah.
I
also I did watch this entire series in black and white. I did go back and watch that fight in color because I was so curious, especially when they were turning Sandman to glass. I'm like, I need to see what this looks like in color. And it did look pretty good. Like I don't think it would have worked as well in color if I watched the entire way. Black and white is definitely the way to go. But I just needed to see how it was presented.
Yeah. No, I switched over to color a couple of times, and I was like, oh, this looks good, considering how ambitious the show is, right? Because it's a period piece with Spider-Man villains and Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
But like, just them fighting him, it's just like so fun because like it's essentially like the Sinister Six in half, just beating the shit out of Spider-Man. And like Megawatt is just electrocuting him. Sandman is like hitting him over and over again. I mean, Tombstone beat the shit out of him previously. Yeah. His fucking goggle breaks. You can see his eye. I love how they stop Tombstone too. Like Robbie runs over and jabs him in the eye with the antidote.
That was great. Yeah. And then they became fast friends after that. Which was nice to see. Like you knew that he was the one that was gonna get cured and redeemed 100%. And you also knew that Flint was gonna get cured and he was gonna run off with Cat 100% too. And like you said, Megawatt was telegraphed as the irredeemable villain of the gang here. I was a little surprised that Cat kills Silvermane. But I'm not like mad about it or anything like that. I think it's fitting, to allow them to start their new life and all that.
Yeah. Silvermane had to go just based on everything that had happened. And like with Sandman, it was kind of cool that they had him go into his like sand form because I thought that they weren't gonna do that in the whole show. But then fucking
how they did that was great.
Yeah. Smushes him with cars and he just turns into sand. I love that.
Yeah, that looked really good.
Yeah. I'm just trying to think of like what else I really wanted to hit upon.
I can't really think of it. I mean, I think we've mainly talked about the 8th episode and not the 7th, but I barely remember what happens in the 7th, to be honest. But I can't think of anything else to say. I agree with you about the mayor. That whole plot line maybe was probably the weakest part of it. I did like the idea that how it was set up that, Silvermane kind of got him installed. He runs the whole city. but they didn't really do anything with the mayor's opposition, really. So it kind of fell flat in that regard. But everything else was really great. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, no, I mean, it fit. They had to follow the noir archetypes for the show for it to be called Spider Noir. So he has to get betrayed by the femme fatale. There were a couple of moments there, like in the scene in the lounge. It looks like Silvermane's going to turn and kill Cat, and then I'm trying to think who stops him. I think does Sandman stop him?
I think he goes there, but I think the spider shows up and he stops.
Yeah, Spider-Man,
the spider.
Robbie's the spider, which he does an amazing Nicolas Cage impersonation too.
Yeah. They unmask him. They're like, what?
Right. Oh, that reminds me of another part I liked. I liked that Megawatt recognized Nicolas Cage, because if you go back to our last conversation, I was saying, like, how come none of these soldiers recognize Nicolas Cage? And then he does in that last episode. But yeah, it kind of follows the beat of the noir thing. I like the fact that she didn't really love Ben Reilly, but like she loved him or like had affection for him because of who he was, but her heart was really with Flint, you know?
Yeah, I think it was kind of like that whole, how originally Black Cat was kind of in love with Spider-Man, but not Peter Parker sort of thing. But ultimately the relationship with Flint is what was driving her. But she does say that in another lifetime she could have run away with him, and I believe that. But I think it worked out. The show worked out well as it did there. I'm glad they got that ending. I'm glad just how it ended in general. They're Ben is still a private investigator. He's now partnering with is it Patty?
Yeah.
The both their names are on the door now, and it's great. I really hope we do get a second season of this. Although I wouldn't be surprised if we didn't. And if we don't, it ended well enough for me as just kind of like a one-off, and not too many lingering questions.
Yeah. I mean, I couldn't put it any better than that myself. But Brian, we didn't even talk about the scene where he's in the bar and he's getting really drunk, and the guys.
Oh my God, yes. That I love the shot when he walks out of the bar and walks back in as the Spider. That looked so good.
Yeah, but when he's just shooting webs, he's like, web.
Again, wouldn't work if it wasn't Nick Cage.
Yeah. But as I was watching it, I was like, I know Brian loves this part right here.
I did, yeah. It was great, and I love that this kind of version of Spider-Man is a little more selfish. It's not exactly a Peter Parker, although I'm not convinced that he's not Peter Parker. I don't believe they ever mentioned his name prior to calling himself Ben Reilly. Right.
I think, he's probably Peter Parker because they talked about him changing his name. But yeah. No, I know, man. Like, it was a real fun show. I'm glad that we watched it. We're lucky that something like this exists. And like you were saying in our Supergirl review, there might be less and less stuff like this moving forward. But I mean, at least we got fucking a noir series with Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man for 8 episodes.
Yeah,
man.
Certainly a miracle.
Yeah, well, we flew through that, but I think it's probably because you really want to talk about X-Men.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Okay, nice. All right, well, then we're going to go jump over and record our X-Men 97 Season 2 review, but you guys can subscribe to our channel and shoot your webs at us whenever you feel like it. We'll see you guys next